Hey everyone, Ryan here at etrailer. Today on our 2020 Cadillac XT5, we're going to be showing you how to install the Curt custom fit vehicle wiring harness. Before we do that though, let's take a minute, we'll check this out and make sure it's going to be the right kit for you. So with these Cadillacs being pretty capable SUVs, people do tend to pull some trailers around with them. And if that's what you plan on doing, you're going to need a way to power up the lights on your trailer. That way you're not only safe, but it is a legal requirement as well. And that's where a kit like this is going to come into play. And it's pretty nice, the way that everything is situated and how we run our wires and everything. It's going to live behind the panel that goes here. So when you're ready to tow, you have easy access to it. But when you're not going to be using your hitch and wiring, that panel can be reinstalled and keep everything hidden. This kit is going to be a 4-way flat type of connector here. And so we'll get all of our basic lighting functions. We'll have our tail lights, our brake lights, and our turn signals. So pretty common style of connection for those smaller, medium-sized trailers. If the connector on your trailer looks like this, you'll be able to plug right into it and send all those signals back. However, if the connector plug on your trailer looks something like this, then you're going to need what's called a 7-way round type connector. There's a couple of kits designed to work with this particular vehicle, so you can always look into those if that's what you need. To compare this kit to the Contra wiring kit that's available, they're both extremely similar. It's just such a simple wiring harness, there really can't be too many differences, at least worth noting. They both work just fine. I'd feel confident using either one. The Curt does have some wire loom that's installed already over it, which is a nice touch, but since it does live behind the panel anyway, not really a huge deal, at least in my opinion. As far as mounting up your 4-way connector, got a couple of different options. You could set it up like we have here today. Just use the dust cover, went around our safety chain opening, keep it secure like that. Or if you're looking for more of a fixed mount, what you can do is grab a couple of brackets. This is what's called the no drill long bracket, and then I attached a 4-way flat bracket to it. You could put it on the hitch, about like that, and have that other mounting solution. Other than that, at the end of the day, if your trailer has a 4-way flat connector on it, a kit like this will definitely get the job done. As far as the installation goes, it is really straightforward. There's a factory connector plug located kind of up here in this area, just right behind your bumper. And you unplug it, plug the new wiring in, route it over to the hitch, and that's really all there is to it. So should be in pretty good shape and really shouldn't run into too many issues. But if you're installing this yourself, feel free to hang around. We'll go ahead and get going on it now. To begin our installation, we're going to be working underneath the back of our Cadillac, and we're going to have the center panel that we can remove, as well as a couple of fasteners on the bottom edge here on the driver's side. All of the fasteners are going to be a T15 Torx bit type screw, and I'm taking these out here since our wiring connector's in this area just behind the bumper. That way we can move it around a little bit more and have some more wiggle room to work there. And for our panel, we have a T15 on each side. We can just pop this out of position. So if you look up through the opening where the panel is at, towards the driver's side, this is the factory connector plug that we're looking for here. That's where our trailer wiring is going to plug into. So there is what's called a dummy plug installed in it. It's just a cap to keep this protected. We're going to have to remove it. And there's a red tab that you can kind of push back on. And then there's another tab that you can push down on. pulled it off the little plastic piece to give us some more working room, but what I'll probably do, being that it's so tight in here, I'll just get this removed and give you a better look at it. I got that dummy plug cap removed, and here's a better look at our connector. That's the red tab that I slid back, and then the tab there in the middle, if you push down on that, and while you're pushing down, you're able to remove that cap. At this point, you can grab your new trailer wiring harness, and the end of it is going to line up with our factory plug, and more or less you just plug it right in. You can't do it wrong, it only goes in one way. So I'll go ahead, get that set up and show you what it looks like. I plugged our connector in, this is how it looks. Just make sure it's fully seated, you'll kind of feel it click together, and once that is plugged in, make sure to push that red tab back down to lock everything into place. And from here we can get our wiring routed. Really not a whole lot to this routing, just make sure to avoid the exhaust as much as possible. I just run it over, use a zip tie or two to secure it to some factory wiring, and dropped it right down. And I just use the dust cover to attach it to the safety chain opening on our hitch chair. It is a good idea to test your wiring to make sure that it's working properly. So I like to use one of these testers as opposed to just hooking up to a trailer. And I say it because if your trailer has any issues, it might mislead you and think it's something wrong on the vehicle side. With that in mind though, we'll try our left turn signal, our right turn signal. We'll hit our brakes and turn on our running lights. Now that we verified our wiring works, I went ahead and reinstalled our 2 screws over here. And if you're not going to be using the wiring for a while, well, feel free to reinstall that panel there if you want to. But with that done, that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Curt custom fit vehicle wiring harness on our 2020 Cadillac XT5.